The grand return of Rigathi Gachagua from the US is something that is coming with 5 obstacles. 1. Abductions and arrest. Second one is deportation. The third one is about assassination. The second last is about diversion of his flight. Then lastly is house arrest. In this particular video, we want to dive right into each and every obstacles that Rigathi Gachagua is likely to go through as soon as he arrives here in Kenya. And do you know the reasons why the government is planning to either arrest, abduct, or do all sorts of these things to Rigathi Gachagua as soon as he arrives here in Kenya? The reason is simple. The government sees Rigathi Gachagua as someone who tarnished the name of his mother country while he was away. And for that reason, he needs to be disciplined. And so, without wasting much of the time, let's just dive right into it. Point 1. Arrest. Do you think that the government can go ahead and arrest Rigathi Gachagua at the JKIA? That is something that we are still wondering if the government can go ahead and do. Because if we take by history, this government of Kenya Kwanza has been putting more threats on Rigathi Gachagua like each and every month. But literally we have seen nothing happening to Rigathi Gachagua. I remember very well when Rigathi Gachagua said that the next general election will be like a Christmas day. That was something taken very seriously by this Kenya Kwanza government. And they went ahead to plan on how to arrest him. And many of us, we Kenyans, we believed that the government would go ahead and arrest him. And it was just like a passing cloud. And not only that, Rigathi Gachagua has faced many threats of arrest from this Kenya Kwanza government, but we haven't seen anything happening. So my question to you is this: do you think that this time around the Kenya Kwanza government will be so hard on Rigathi Gachagua and go ahead to arrest him, or it is just a threat as usual? The second point is about deportation. There are some Kenya Kwanza leaders who are suggesting that upon the arrival of Rigathi Gachagua, the government should go ahead to deport him back to the US.
Maamani sana kutoka ule jamaa mkabila aenda nyimbo. Tumekuwa na amani sana. Kumekuwa na maandamano kweli? Hakuna. Waziri, mimi nataka nikutuma na ujumbe, mwambie rais ikiwezekana yule jamaa afanyiwe ile kitu mwingine amefanyiwa, abaki huko mahali huko.
Rigiji hatukujua ukienda na ukirudi hatutajua, kwa sababu Kenya iko imara, iko kwa uongozi dhabiti. Tumeungana, tumesema Kenya ni moja, hatuna ukabila na hatutaki kugawanishwa na wewe. Hata ungekaa huko, hatukuhitaji Kenya.
Mtu ya kuleta chuki, huyo mtu amekuwa nje ya Kenya. Tungeomba sana kama wewe ungebaki tu huko huko. Lakini kwa sababu nimeona unadanganya wa Kenya ati unarudi.
Now the question here we should ask ourselves in relation to the deportation of Rigathi Gachagua is that, is Rigathi Gachagua having dual citizenship? That is a very big no. From what we know is that Rigathi Gachagua has only one citizenship, that is being a Kenyan by birth and nothing more. So deportation is not something that can be applied here. It doesn't exist. Miguna was deported because he was a dual citizenship. He is a Kenyan by birth and also a Canadian by registration. Something that, according to Rigathi Gachagua, it doesn't appear or it doesn't feature. So deportation is something that can't be applied. The third point is about assassination. There is also a plot being insinuated by those allies, close allies of Rigathi Gachagua, that the government is plotting to assassinate one Rigathi Gachagua as he arrives here in Kenya. And this is something that the deputy party leader of the DCP, Cleophas Malala, knows well about it.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Interior Minister One Kipchumba Murkomen have shamelessly issued public threats to arrest His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua upon his arrival. Intelligence reaching us points to a scheme so evil, so cowardly, that it chills the soul. Their intent is to subject our party leader to slow and silent assassination by poisoning, the very same cruel method once inflicted on the late Kenneth Matiba while in state custody. This is not hearsay. It is a deliberate plot to silence the voice of the people of Kenya by physically destroying its leadership.
So according to Malala, the government is plotting. I do not know whether it is abduction or arrest, either to abduct him or arrest him and put him under the custody. Then there in the custody, the government will go ahead and force him to drink or consume poison. And that's how Rigathi Gachagua will be forgotten and gone. Do you think that is something the government can go ahead to do? That is something that we need to debunk just right now. That is something that the government cannot try to do. Rigathi Gachagua is not just a mere politician. This is someone who was once a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. And just arresting him and giving him and forcing him to drink or consume poison is something that can't happen. And remember, that is someone coming from the US. So what if the US can hear that the person they hosted has been poisoned by the government of Kenya? How can it be to the Kenyan government? This is something that cannot happen, and maybe Cleophas Malala, all these people aligned to Rigathi Gachagua, are just thinking ahead of the government. They are just trying to make Rigathi Gachagua land in safe. But this is something that I know can't happen. He might be arrested, but not assassinated right in the custody of the government. The fourth point here is about diversion of his flight either to Kisumu Airport or Mombasa Airport, but not JKAA in Nairobi County or in Nairobi City. This is something that the government can do because they know that Rigathi Gachagua has become like a national leader and he has the people behind him. And so these people are really anticipating to give a grand reception to their leader. So that one is something that the government can try to fight against by either diverting the flight of Rigathi Gachagua to either Kisumu, where he doesn't have many supporters, or Mombasa, where he also doesn't have many supporters, because he knows that Nairobi is the center of politics. And if Rigathi Gachagua, let's say that he has many supporters within Nairobi, they will come out to give that wonderful reception to their one and only leader. So that is something that the government of Kenya Kwanza, from what we know from it, that it is a jealous government. It can't just sit down and watch that happening. So they can do that just to block Rigathi Gachagua from getting that wonderful reception, and also from addressing his supporters as Cleophas Malala is put. So guys, that is my take, and if you have viewers, you can as well let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and let's catch up soon in our next video. Bye and take care.